Hi, this is Sandra.
Hi, this is Peter.
And we're medievalist.net. And today we're going to do another Game of Thrones review for you of last night's episode entitled The Wolf and the Lion.
Yeah, this is a Ned-centered episode.
It's a little story all about Ned.
And how shall we begin?
I think first we're going to start off by saying that there's nothing of Dany and nothing of Jon in this episode.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Well, I kind of mind because I like Jon, but I think that there's so much in this episode just from Ned that it's like my brain almost imploded. With all the information. I came out of that episode and I was like, oh my god, my head hurts. There was no need for Jon or Dany.
Yeah.
There's like too much.
Although Dany does get mentioned, but we'll get to that later.
It was an aside, but there are no scenes with them.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start off saying that we're going to talk about Tyrion and Cat.
Yeah.
So basically, Tyrion gets unmasked, and he realizes that they're not really going to Winterfell. They're going to the Vale to see her sister, Lyssa, because she wants Tyrion to answer for his crimes because she believes that Tyrion murdered Jon Arryn.
Tyrion starts, while they're on the way, Tyrion's starting to make sense on, it wasn't me. I wouldn't have given the dagger to the assassin.
He says only an idiot would give an assassin their own blade, and he kind of makes a point.
Yeah.
At first split second, you see Cat kind of go, maybe he's got a point here, but
of course, it's get cut off by the hillsmen.
Sand people, ooh.
Yes.
Like Star Wars. Ooh.
They just come out of nowhere and
they come out of nowhere and they're chucking rocks and spears.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what is this?
So we get our first, fight scene of the great.
Oh, that's great.
And we have this, really kind of an interesting fight.
And there's a moment,
Tyrion, he's at first bound, but he tells Lady Stark, cut these bounds so I can help. If I'm dead, there's nothing going to be happen of it. She does. He's kind of thinking of jumping on a horse.
He sees the horses, but then he's like, he sees Cat's going to get killed by these hill people.
Yeah,
hill people. And he actually throttles them with his shield.
Well,
go, little guy, go.
Yeah, he's a darn good fighter. I want him on my
awesome.
side. He takes there's a great scene, a very bloody scene where he takes a shield and he gets a guy, knocks him down, and he just rams the sharp end of the shield into his face.
Peter
I know.
About this.
I'm waiting for that. It was a bloody scene. So
great, but yeah.
He saves Cat, but of course, as reward for that, he gets taken to the Vale and to this awful dungeon. And
it's a good dungeon, though. I think if the prison systems here had dungeons like that, we'd have so few people escaping. And if they escaped, they just wouldn't be.
Yeah,
because basically there's like 1,000-foot drop to the bottom. It's kind of like Gandalf when he was stuck up in Sauron's tower. It's like, where are you going to go? Well, any eagle coming to save you? Not so much.
Yeah. So
he's stuck in there.
We get to meet
Lyssa,
the sister, Cat's sister. She seems crazy. And she has her an 8-year-old son, and he seems to be mentally disturbed too. Look. On a serious note, I really don't like that kind of portrayal of characters. So,
really,
I found it really. I don't like when little kids get portrayed like that. So
he was breastfeeding off of her, and she was 8.
Yeah, and he was like, it's like he's like he came across as like an autistic boy.
Okay.
So So I didn't like that portrayal of a character. I wish they didn't portray him like that. You have him say nothing. So.
I just think they're trying to show that he's disturbed because of his mother.
Yeah, I think it's all from his mother.
You need to move in. You're off the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Better now. We're better. That's okay.
But beyond that, it's a very creepy castle. The guards seem very mean. It really fits in with the rest of Game of Thrones.
Well, when you're, working for a nutter.
Yeah, you do. So like even Kat is like, I'm in trouble here. So
Kat, the look on her face is like, wow, my sister's a nutter.
Yeah, they.
So she realizes because Tyrion made some comment about Lyssa being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and Kat gets there and realizes, damn, this imp was
Tyrion's always
talking sense. My sister is off her rocker,
I think
whatever.
Tyrion should be king. So
you know what? That is the smartest thing you've said all day, other than let's go get wine. Anyways, I like how he thinks Tyrion. Yeah. Never mind Renly Baratheon. That scene was good too, though. But anyways, we won't get into there yet.
Okay, let's get into Ned because most of the episode is about Ned. And
it's like Ned, and then some Ned with your Ned.
And a lot of it is people coming and talking to Ned. And
it's all about information.
Yeah, and we learn. What do we learn actually?
We learn so much stuff that your head explodes. We learn that Robert's got a bunch of bastards everywhere, and everywhere. Just think about this for a moment, folks. The bastards have black hair.
Okay.
Remember Gendry the blacksmith? Looks like Robert. Littlefinger takes Ned to see a poor that Robert had a bastard baby with this woman, and the child has, shocks of black hair. So this comment, the seed is strong. Let's think about that. I'm not going to say anything more. Just think about it. Anyways, we find that out. We also find out, looking at my notes, because there was so much.
She wrote a lot. Wait till you hear. Wait till her written review.
I think this written review is going to be a PhD thesis.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance, check out Sandra's written reviews. They're a lot more detailed.
Longer and longer.
Yes.
We find out that Sir Hugh possibly murdered John Arryn with this tasteless poison.
Yeah, a poison, and that whoever did it was wealthy. So.
Yes, and Sir Hugh was paid, and then we realize that Sir Hugh's, death during the tourney when Sir Gregor Clegane
might not be an accident. Yeah, it probably
was probably not accidental, not so much. And we also find out that Ned gets told, that Cat's taken Tyrion.
Yes.
And Arya.
Even Arya gives him information. So not very helpful, but she gives him information. So.
Well, no, he does figure it out. Yeah. She actually gets stuck in a dungeon and finds Varys, the spider, the eunuch, and Master Illyrio, who was housing Viserys and Dany before her marriage to the Dothraki Lord Khal Drogo. So those two are in cahoots, and they're discussing, Ned should die, the Lannisters botched the murder of Bran, and various other things. And Arya doesn't quite get what's going on, so she just repeats it, and it kind of comes out sounding like a bunch of gibberish to Ned. But he does pick up on stuff, like when she says, the savages and stuff about the Dothraki.
Yeah.
So he knows she's onto something, and he knows things aren't looking good. And then Robert kicking him out. What did you think of that?
Yeah. Before we get to that, just one thing that you also hear a bit more of the spy versus spy kind of.
Yes, I love that scene. Yes, Varys and Littlefinger.
Yeah, they just happen to meet each other, and they're telling about the last time they saw each other, which is their spies seeing spies. So.
Oh, I saw you here and talking to so and so.
Yeah.
I saw you talking to so and so too, and they're like one-upping each other, and then they get it's like a your mama contest, and they get low blows. He's like, well, you're a pedophile, and I know you come to my whorehouse and you were with little boys. And then Varys is like, yeah, well, I might like little boys, but you're running a snuff farm. It's like you're running stuff where people are like, screwing amputees and corpses.
I like how you put their words. They just so you.
And they're going back and forth. It's like Battle of the Spies. I thought it was like a really funny, really well done scene.
And of course, they keep on talking, and then like, oh, hey guys, we got a meeting to go to. Someone gets you get interrupted, which is very funny. So. And
then Rob basically tells Ned that he wants to kill Dany, and Ned says no and says, here's my badge. Screw you. I gotta go later.
They find out. Everyone's now found out that Dany is pregnant. Robert wants both Dany and the unborn baby dad. Ned is just disgusted with it all. Like all the other advisors are, oh well, we have to do it. It's this bad thing, but Ned has nothing, and he basically resigns.
Packs up the girls, wants to pack them up and leave.
And
then Jaime Lannister shows up.
Well, no, there's one big scene, though, that you want to talk about.
But I want to talk about Jaime coming through. Because that's a totally separate entity. So Jaime comes in and basically is like, yo, I heard you took my brother. Yeah. What's up? And fights him.
Yeah, like he says, like, kill Ned's men, which they do very easily. Jaime, picks off
that really gory scene.
Yes, and
you like to talk about it. I know you want to talk about it.
Right in the eye.
You liked it.
Right in the head, a dagger, and then he has a fight with Ned. A really good, nice fight, which unfortunately ends when one of Jaime's men. Puts a spear into the back of his leg. Jaime gets pissed and just knocks him out with a punch and leaves.
Because even though Jaime's a jerk, he still wants a fair fight, and he's like, I want to kill Ned. I don't want you helping me out.
Yeah.
And then the last scene, so and then he says, find my brother, bring him back. Mm-hmm. So kind of threat there, but the last scene we want to talk about really quickly is. One of my favorite scenes that I've seen, I think, in the whole series, and not a lot goes on, but it's Robert and Cersei having the absolutely most brutal, honest...
Heart-to-heart.
Conversation about the joke that is their marriage, and, I hate her, but in this one brief moment... The same thing was like that moment with Jaime outside the room when Robert was screwing other women. Mm-hmm. I get why Cersei hates Robert. Mm-hmm. And I really kind of grew to dislike Robert in this episode. Yeah. He's just a jerk. Really? He think, he's funny, he's this, he's that, but he's not a nice guy. Yeah. And he basically, admits to Cersei that he can't even remember Ned's sister's face. But he's still in love with her, and he never loved her. And she at one point admits to him that she had feelings for him and cared for him, and even after they lost their son, and she's like, so was there ever a chance? And he's like, no. And I was just like, wow, that was cold. And then she turns around or he turns around and says, does that make you feel any better or worse or what? And she's like, no, I don't feel anything. And it's like a really brutal, raw kind of scene. And as much as I dislike her character, it was like I couldn't help but feel for her in that moment and really get where she was coming from. Because I just wanted to jump up and stab Rob in the head.
I think Robert is becoming much more of a pathetic character. As he's called, even he says at a point, this realm was all backstabbing and scheming. Of course, he's now doing it too with his, let's go and kill the unborn child and the little girl kind of stuff. And
he's so fat he can't fit in his armor anymore. All he does is whore and drink. And spend the coffers
and he seems to be mean to all the Lannisters. It's like. You can see, man, I can't wait to get usurped. So, but who will do it?
Even Ned's like done. He's like, I'm done with you. You're just so lame. I gotta go later, and that's basically what happens. But I think the episode was really good. I just wanted to speak to that scene because I thought it was a very poignant kind of moment, and I really liked. It was so well acted out between. Yeah. Cersei and Robert, it was so believable. I just it really got
it was
to
a nice emotion. It was an emotional scene, and you
actually felt for a bad person. Like I never feel bad for Viserys, and I rarely I don't feel bad for Joff. But there are moments with Jaime and Cersei especially when Robert's around, where you really kind of are like, wow, if I was in her shoes. Would I not feel a little bit the same? So, but that was it, and I my head exploded, but I still enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, we didn't even cover a lot of other kind of scenes.
No, I felt like it was the War and Peace of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we've got Robert's brother. He wants to be king. Is maybe thinking about becoming king. He has his own scene.
With his gay lover, Sir Loras.
Yeah, Sir Loras, wins, and we have another joust that ends with the two brothers having this great fight.
Sandor and Gregor hate each other's guts.
And even Bram gets a little scene in. So,
yeah, but we'd have to be talking for half an hour. Yes. So,
but otherwise, I really enjoyed the show. It's a nice setup for next week too, because I'm still really engaged with Tyrion. What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to Ned? Is there who's going to die?
That's Peter's modus operandi and his whole thing of being is who's going to get stabbed next. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I thought it was a great one, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this review. It was a lot of information. I'm sorry for the length of time that this review is taken, but really there was just so much going on with Ned, that we just had to cover it.
Yeah, Ned's, it's tough being the king's
It's hard to be the king's hand. Okay.
Take care.
Good night. Bye.